Morning, ladies. I am going live a little bit early today because I also have a 1 o'clock video for those that have followed. It's the last day of my 7 days of self-love challenge. So if you've been following along, please join today. If you have any questions, the Q&A will follow as we just tie a bow around the whole experience on today as the 7th day, and that starts at 1 o'clock. So in the Zoom link, we'll be gathering there. But I wanted to make sure I am even more excited actually about the week that we are diving into for your program. So I wanted to get started on that a bit early today, so I hope you all can find this in the replay if you're not joining live at this moment. But today is our first day in the 12-week program that we dive into the life cycle of your love life in relationship, in partnership. So I always start with that self-love core foundation of the process going from self-awareness to self-care to self-expression as your essence of self-love develops, because that is where it all begins. True love is being true to yourself and to someone you love, and you can only do that if you've gained the clarity and confidence to know who you are and what you want as yourself, so that you can bring that into partnership, so that you're bringing in the opportunity and openness for shared joy instead of bringing in a need for filling expectations or needs and wants in that partnership. So it's very important to do the work first, to develop self-love, to become so authentically fully yourself and to be in love with her, so that you're excited about who you're bringing into relationship and you're confident in who she is. So that, I mean, relationships are all about testing and challenging and experimenting and discovery. And so there are going to be moments in relationship that push your buttons and challenge you to question your values, and you need to be able to know who you are without that, to be able to stand strong in that inner knowing. That doesn't mean you can't occasionally compromise or be open to new ideas and change your mind. You have the prerogative to change your mind at any moment in a relationship, but to know that you're doing it while still maintaining that authenticity and being true to your values as an individual that you're bringing into that relationship, and not becoming a people pleaser or a doormat or a codependent part of that relationship. You really want to both stand as individual, unique, powerful individual people, so that when you come together, it's two units coming together. You know, 1 + 1 = 2. It's not a half and a half hoping to become a full one, which I find a lot of people do if they haven't done that inner work. So I appreciate all that you've done so far, and it will be an ongoing process. It's not like we put that part of the chapter of the program down and then move forward. That was just an introduction to introduce my process of what order I think it's easiest to really focus on those elements. But each of those elements are going to rotate throughout your life and be tools that you can utilize as things come up in relationship. So definitely, if you took notes or have any aha moments that resonate with you, stay in touch with those as you start to develop your love life and create the love life that you're looking to enjoy to the most. So today we're going to start with the actual life cycle of your love life. So I've introduced that I go through the seasons of that cycle, and it's fall, winter, spring, summer. So I'm going to start today by introducing the fall season, because I find that's where most women begin. So you may already be past this point, but at least it gives you an identification of what that process has given you to move forward. Maybe some of you are still in that season. Like I said, I spent 2 decades in that season. And that doesn't mean I didn't feel moments of that spring energy or that summer energy or even that winter energy. It just means that my priorities, the overall umbrella of my experience in that season was that fall essence. So today I want to introduce the fall season and what it means to go through that season, and then talk about ways that you can graduate from that season into winter. And with each season I introduce, that's the key, is to knowing how to enjoy it to its fullest, how to graduate from it when you feel that it has completed its purpose and you're ready to try something new and experience something new. And then how to linger in the season of your choice, whichever that may be. And I have friends that are purely content in their winter season. They are falling more and more in love with themselves and what they're creating as far as artistry and self-expression, and are just very content in the winter season and feel fully complete and fulfilled in that season without a need to develop a relationship that might challenge that or hinder that or compromise that. And so if you're in that season, there is nothing wrong with making a lifetime of your winter season or a multi-decade winter season. That's entirely up to you. It's up to what your soul has in mind for your life, for this existence in this human body at this time. So for everyone, that's different. So there is no right answer. There's no formula to exactly how long you should, linger in one to get to the next. It's your heart that's going to tell you what's right for you. I simply give you the tools so that you can identify and be aware of what that overall opportunity looks like, so that you can make inspired and educated decisions on creating that love life intentionally for yourself. And it could be a love life with yourself, solely with yourself, or it can be in partnership. It can be a combination of both. It can fall in and out of both along the way. That is up to you. That is up to what you create. So today I want to talk about how we create that in the fall season. So I like to think of fall as the back to school season. It's the season of learning our lessons, which as I've said, as being a human being, we are here to experience and experiment, and that involves learning lessons. That means not getting it the way we envision, maybe the first time or maybe the 20th time. I don't believe in failure and success. I believe it's all experimentation and it's all learning. But when you start to feel anxious about wanting a desired outcome, that's your heart letting you know that maybe something no longer serves you and it's ready for something different. And so I invite you to pay attention to that, so that you can honor it with a new and different experience that it may be calling for. So learning our lessons during the fall season, this can be, oftentimes women come to me without knowing that they're in their fall season and without realizing that what they're trying to do is to jump from fall directly into summer without experiencing winter or spring. They just want to go straight from this is hard, this sucks, I'm over it, to true love. And they don't take the time to experience the process and the steps along the way that make true love so fulfilling and so enriching. So I invite you to have patience and really ease into the flow of this process and to appreciate every cycle, every season that you go through. And you can go through all 4 seasons multiple times. It's not like a linear destination that you start in fall and you end in summer and you've hit the big jackpot, game over. That's not how it works. It is an evolution that continues to roll as long as you have more that you want to experience, it keeps giving you those opportunities. So your heart is your guide. Your heart is the leader on how this goes. And your brain can have ideas of what it wants and how it should go, but your heart is the one that's going to guide you to what best serves you. And I invite you always to follow your joy and your curiosity, to remain in alignment and in touch with that heart wisdom and that heart guidance. So this season of learning your lessons can feel hard. So I teach clients to learn their lessons the easy way and to flow with ease and grace, which isn't always possible, depending on the choices you've made and the beliefs you have. Sometimes life needs to hit you upside the head with a 2x4 for you to really grasp what it's trying to show you, what it's trying to teach you. So my goal is to eliminate as many of those happenings as possible so that you can learn the lesson when it's a little softer, a little easier, a little kinder maybe, than that 2x4 upside the head. But it's up to you. I mean, if you're on this, not mental journey, but this logical destination in mind, and if it's not in alignment with your heart wisdom, things start to get friction and resistance and harder and harder and harder. And it doesn't have to be that way. But even when it is, even when it feels so painful and difficult, it is the universe acting in your favor. It is offering you a gift, that it's trying to help you reach what your soul truly wants, even when it doesn't look that way. So always know that the universe is acting in your best interest based on what your soul purpose is in this lifetime. And for everyone, I believe that the epitome of your soul purpose is to experience joy. But sometimes we lose sight of what our true joy is, and we start chasing things that we think we should enjoy, and that's when things start to get difficult and not in flow and just hard. I mean, sometimes it means you self-sabotage, because if you have a belief that you're only worthy of a certain amount of joy, or that you can only have certain areas of your life be good, and if those are good, it means other areas are not. I have so many women that have these beliefs that either they just think things, when they get good, it's too good to be true, or they're waiting for the left shoe to drop, or it's just out of their comfort zone. They haven't accepted the new normal of joy, and that being a part of who they are and how they live. And so they'll sabotage. And sometimes that means your body just rejecting the joy and getting sick. Maybe it's a cold and sniffles. Maybe it's a serious illness. Sometimes it's bodily injury, that we become accident prone, and that is a way of physically limiting our joy. That when things, you might get a raise, or you might get that relationship that you've always dreamed of, and then all of a sudden you hurt yourself, fall down a driveway, or slip on something slippery with your right after your pedicure in those crazy little flip-flops. Whatever it is, I've seen women do it, and you have to recognize that there are no coincidences. These are the universe's messages trying to help you get back on track, to course correct. But you can sabotage that by creating difficulty within your life. So I am here to always empower you to know that you are worthy of love, to know that you are enough, to enjoy life to its fullest as you are right now. And so if you start to feel yourself sabotaging that, always feel free to text me, email me, whatever it is, to get a boost of that reminder of who you truly are and what you actually deserve and what you're really here for. because it's all about following your curiosity and pursuing that joy and actually enjoying it. That is your right. It is your birthright to experience joy as a human being. And that is one of the greatest opportunities for being human. So I invite you all to learn your lessons, but learn them the easy way. Pay attention to those red flags. Pay attention to when your gut just says, this doesn't feel right. This isn't the way I like to feel. It's not high energy. It feels heavy. It feels hard. It feels uncomfortable. And I'm all for going outside of our comfort zone, and sometimes it's easy to confuse that. You know, you date the rebel guy that gets you to do things that are outside of your comfort zone. But if you're not clear on what your values are, oftentimes it's not that he's making you more bold and courageous and exciting and excited about your life. He's actually compromising your values and seeing if you're willing to do that for him. So I invite you always to start strong in your self-awareness, so that when you come to opportunities to go beyond your comfort zone, it is still with the integrity of your own values. So a lot of times women date the bad boy, the rebel, the one that, you know, the parents wouldn't approve of, or even their circle of friends might not approve of, but they see something in him and he lights something up inside of them. That's all fine. I do not think that we need to acquiesce to our society's judgment of who we should date, but it should definitely be in alignment with who you truly in your heart want to be associated with and want to share your energy with. So today in the fall season, it's the same 4 seasons of the cycle that we touched on for your individual development, but it's reflected in partnership. So the fall season is actually a season of self-awareness, but in relationship, in partnership. So whether you're currently in a relationship or you're dreaming of the relationship, this week, this part of the program, this phase of your cycle, this season is about developing your self-awareness of you in partnership, in that relationship. So today I'm not going to do a visualization, but I am going to go through a writing experience with you. So I invite you, if you're watching the replay, you can hit pause as often as possible to give yourself the time to really answer these questions in full depth, so that you can get in touch with that vision of who you are in partnership and who you are being authentic to yourself in relationship. So the questions that I'm going to ask, and since I do have that 1 o'clock, I'll bring them up and then invite you to pause on your own time, to give yourself as much time as necessary, as opposed to me sitting here in silence waiting for 1 minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it is. So just pause and take your time with these. So give yourself that time and space to do so before we continue into next week. So the first question that I'd like you to really think about, and thinking about it is great. If you're driving when you listen to this, feel free to go through it and have those ideas, but putting it to paper makes all the difference. It makes it come to life. It makes it cement in your mind and in your subconscious, because sometimes we write things that we think on later and we have that visual of it being on paper and realize, that wasn't really me talking. That was my fear, or my parents, or my friends, or the people I want to be associated with, or the guy I think I am, envisioning of my dream guy, what he would want. So you can find little things when you really write it down and commit it to paper that, again, it's always your prerogative to change your mind, to evolve more, to develop new ideas and new concepts of what is true for you. And it's okay for that to blossom along the way. That's why you do this work, and that's why you never stop doing this work, because it can change. Your soul is constant, but the way you become aware of things is only going to meet you as far as you are capable of accepting, that your beliefs allow you to accept in this moment. And so what you believe is where we're going to start today, because what you used to believe is likely different than what you believe today. And if you were to watch this video 5 years from now, it might be very different again. Even though your soul is constant, it always has that same essence, but it's going to introduce it to you in ways that are palatable for you at this point in your journey. So today I want you to think on, and I think I asked this in one of my other ones, but to start with the idea of, hopefully you've done a vision board, you've done your happiness list. I want you to just write a vision of you in partnership. What does that look like for you? What is an ideal day in that relationship? Do you wake up in the same bed as them? Or do you wake up to a good morning, beautiful text from them? Do you, what are you wearing? What do your bed sheets feel like when you hop out of bed? What does breakfast look like for you? Is it out on the patio together? Is it a waffle and a kiss as you head out to both of your amazing power jobs? Is it next to a high chair with a little one? What does that look like for you? And what does the rest of the day feel like? Are you home? Are you out? Are you connecting with family members or clients, or solely with your partner? Who do you want to connect with throughout the day? What activities are you doing purely for yourself throughout the day? And this is your ideal day. This does not have to have any relation to what actual reality looks like for you right now. This is the big dream possibility for you, even if it doesn't feel possible right now. Okay? This is if you could just snap your fingers, wave a magic wand, and create that dream life with no connection to what you currently think is possible. Just dream big. Go all in. What would that dream life look like and feel like? And how would it progress throughout the day? How does your afternoon look? Are you having happy hour with friends? Are you picking up someone from school? Are you meeting your significant other for a cocktail before dinner? Are you having dinner around the kitchen table, or at a fancy restaurant, or at a friend's house, or someone's backyard? What does that ideal day look like for you? Is it in the city you're currently in right now? Is it on vacation? Is it moving to a different part of the country or the world? Where are you? Is it cold? Is it hot? What are you wearing? And what does that evening look like for you? Is it snuggled up in front of a fireplace, or watching your favorite TV shows, or looking out on a lake in a cabin, just you and your significant other, and no Wi-Fi or cell service? What does that ideal day look like for you? Are you texting them all day while you're sitting at your office doing your dream job? Are you missing them all day and excited to see them at the end of the day and just then get a chance to tell each other how your day was? Maybe you work together. Maybe your desks are facing each other at this big law firm. I mean, who knows? You get to create whatever vision your heart desires. And it doesn't have to be realistic to what you think is possible right now. It just has to be the essence of what lights you up, what brings you joy, what makes it sound fun to wake up to that day. And then how do you fall asleep? Is it curled up in their arms? Is it just your butt cheek touching theirs, knowing that they're in the room? Is it your own bedroom and your own space and your own evening routine, knowing they're down the hall in their own room? Are they in another country thinking about you, dreaming about you, loving on you from afar? What does that look like for you? So 24 hours, I invite you to pause this now and think about, what is that ideal day in relationship for you? And it doesn't have to be what you think they want. It doesn't have to be if you currently have kids and your ideal day doesn't actually include your kids, don't judge that. There's ways to figure out what that means for you that doesn't all of a sudden rid you of your kids if that's a fear. It just means that you're tapping into an energy that you can create for yourself in a way that honors everything that is important to you, but you need to be fully uncensored with this initial exercise so that we can do this in full authenticity of what is true for you. So if you feel like everything you've been taught tells you that couples should live together, be married, share a bed, always say goodnight and I love you even if you've had a hard day, maybe that's true for you. Maybe that's something that was handed to you from Hollywood or your parents or society. So this is an uncensored exercise. There is no right, there is no wrong. It is purely what lights you up, what brings you the most joy. Uncensored, unfiltered, raw joy. Maybe it's just a total BDSM, exotic getaway, whips, chains, whatever, and experiencing that with a true love, maybe even a complete stranger. What is that brings you the most excitement, the most joy 24 hours in relationship? What does that look like for you? And be completely honest, because we need that honesty to be able to identify the clues that will give us. Okay? So pause now, write that. All right, so hopefully you've written your vision. You have 24 hours of what an ideal day would be for you in relationship. So I invite you now to ask yourself, if that exactly as you wrote it, exactly as you envisioned it, actually came true as your day, when you wake up in bed tomorrow, all of a sudden you open your eyes into that day. What are the changes from your reality today to being able to experience that? Like I said, maybe it means that an elder grandparent that's currently living with you isn't part of the picture, or kids that are currently with you aren't part of the picture, or the city you're in is completely different than where you are now. So just write a list of all the things that would change, for better or worse. Just a list of everything in your life that would be different than it is right now. So if the vision of the 24 hours was with your existing significant other, that doesn't go on the list. They already exist. But if it's with someone that you currently know but you're not in that relationship with, then what goes on the list is being in a more serious relationship with that person. If it's with someone that you haven't even met yet that happened to be in the vision, it's, I would need to meet this person and get on a level with them that this is a serious commitment to achieve what I vision for those 24 hours. Whatever that is for you. And it's just bullet points. It doesn't need to be an essay. It's just bullet points that let you know what things would need to change or what things are different. And it's for better or worse. Some of them might be, I'd need $1 million. That's great. Awesome. We'll invite that to become part of it. Some of them might be, well, I don't know where my kids would be. And that may instill a fear, or I don't know where my parents would be, and that may instill a fear. It all goes on the list. No judgment, no fear. No, it's not creating an energy that means that it's canceling that current part of your life. It just means your vision is different, and we need to address all the areas where it is different. So I invite you now to pause again and write a list of everything from what your 24-hour vision compared to your current reality is different. It's like looking at those images in Highlights magazines, these two pictures. Well, how is this one different from this one? And it's sneaky to find those sometimes. So I invite you to take your time with this, pause right now, and write those differences. Okay, welcome back. So now you have a 24-hour vision and you have a bullet point list of every way that is different than your current reality. So now I invite you to really go deep with this and think about, what beliefs do you have about those differences? So if it's, $1 million, I would need $1 million to be on the yacht that is in my vision of my ideal 24 hours. So I want you to go deep with this. It's multi-layered. So you already wrote, $1 million as the bullet point. Now, if multiple of your bullet points involve money, feel free to group them together. Have a system where everything about money is highlighted in purple. Everything about, meeting the person, knowing the person being in love with me is in pink. Or it has, a little star versus a little heart. However you can color code this bullet point list. If you did it on your computer, just separate them into sections that you can identify the areas, the bigger umbrella areas of change between your current reality and your ideal day. And in those areas, what beliefs do you have about that potential for change? So if it's, if you have an elderly parent or relative living with you and they weren't part of your vision, you might have a belief that, well, I don't want to create, I don't want to, because I believe in being a powerful manifester. So I don't want to create the energy that I'm, discarding them as part of my life, because I don't want that to have an effect on their actual existence in this life. So write down beliefs. Like, I don't know where I would come up with another $1 million for that yacht. I don't know what I would do with my significant other's mother-in-law that's not part of that vision. I don't know how I would come up with daycare for that vision to happen. I don't know, and back to the money. I don't know where I'd get the money to be living in London or whatever, or Canada, or in a cabin, or in the Bahamas, whatever that vision was for you. Right? Identify the beliefs that are hard for you to think that it's possible. Okay? So I invite you to pause again. And I know this one's a little harder. It can take some deeper thinking. So really dive deep into this. What beliefs do you have, even around the good things or the bad things, that everything that you envision being different in this ideal day, this hypothetical ideal day, what beliefs do you have around that being possible, based on the bullet points of what's actually different from where you are now? Okay? If you have questions about this, reach out to me on Facebook. I know it can get a little complicated as we peel away the layers and go deeper and deeper into this work, but this is really identifying your beliefs around what's possible, and your beliefs are your reality. So go deep here. This is where the work needs to be done. So feel free to pause, write your beliefs around the differences between now and ideal. Go. All right. So now that you've written an outline of your beliefs, probably around money, career, love, location, all those things. So I invite you, if it's something like, I'm not currently in a job that's going to get me $1 million. I don't buy lotto tickets that's going to get me $1 million. I'm not married, if you're currently with someone, I'm not married, or I'm not currently dating, or I never meet people with $1 million. So whatever those limitations are, Let's just really dive into those. So I like to do this in person because I like to hot seat you guys so you can give me examples. I'm trying to come up with them on my own. So please feel free to post yours in Facebook or even private message them to me. But this next step is to flip those into truths, something that feels true for you. So if it's, I've never seen $1 million, then the truth could be, I'm becoming better with money. I'm becoming more money conscious. I am earning more money than I ever have before. I am connecting with more millionaires and learning from their methods or wisdom. So whatever is true for you. So it's not simply saying I am capable of earning $1 million. If you really still have beliefs that aren't sure that's possible for you, I want you to write something that makes it possible but feels true for you. So what we're doing is taking all those beliefs that make it feel like our ideal day is impossible and turn them into how they are possible, or how we are making the possibility an option. Okay? So the next is to then take all of those beliefs that you have around the things that are different from your ideal day and your reality, and the beliefs you have about those. How do you make all of them statements of possibility? So for some of you, it's I haven't met the love of my life. And to write an affirmation saying I will meet the love of my life might feel a little far-fetched at this point. So it's writing an affirmation that's I'm open to meeting the love of my life. That might feel more true for you. I am putting myself out there more than I ever have to meet the love of my life. I'm doing the inner work to increase and heighten my energy to attract the love of my life. Whatever makes that belief that makes your ideal day seem impossible become a statement, an affirmation of truth that is truly in alignment with your core values and who you are and feels true for you, that makes that ideal day become possible. So I invite you to pause again and write the statements of what those new beliefs are that make it possible. Write your affirmations of possibility that create this ideal day as being possible for you. So if it's something around, like, well, it didn't include my significant other's kids. If you're, coming into a blended family or something. Maybe it's my ideal day could have been on a summer vacation while they were enjoying the time of their life at summer camp. So it's like create a statement of possibility that makes that 24 hours possible and feel good and still feel exciting and leave nothing heavy or hard or difficult. It just makes it possible. Like, oh, well, that makes it possible. I feel good. They feel great. Everyone wins. And all of a sudden, my 24-hour ideal day is possible. All right? So, pause. Write your affirmations of possibility. Go. All right. So how much time do we have? Okay, we've got 1 minute before I should probably head into the next one. I feel like that's barely scratching the surface of what I want to propose as far as writing prompts for this week, for this section, for the fall season, to really identify your self-awareness in relationship. Because the essence of what I'm getting to is that I want you to identify the choices and beliefs that have led you to where you are today. Your current reality is a reflection of the choices and beliefs that you have had up until now. And feel free, that's probably, I'll do that as a journal prompt. What choices have led you to today? So for me, it was buying a house in this neighborhood, getting a dog that I took to the dog park, accepting jury duty so that my schedule was different. All those things led up to me meeting my now husband. The beliefs that I had were that I was worthy of being a single woman homeowner, that I was ready to care for a dog, that I was ready to meet someone that could love me for who I truly am and be everything that I wanted at that time. So those are the choices and the beliefs that led to my current reality. So I invite you to think about what choices and beliefs have created your current reality. For better or worse, the things that you love about your current reality are because you had beliefs that you were worthy and capable of achieving those things. And the things that you feel lacking or hindered by in your current reality are because of choices and beliefs that that's what you're willing to settle for or accept, or what you're ready for, or it's beliefs that we have about what's possible. So I invite you to reflect on what has led you to this current reality in your choices and beliefs, and then do the exercise that I've outlined here on this call to create your belief in possibility going forward. So create your ideal day and then make it truly feel possible for you to create that ideal day. Because the reason you wrote it is because it is in your heart. It lit you up. It got you excited, which means it's meant for you. In some form or another, that excitement, that joy is meant for you. And so we have to find the ways to tap into that energy. And so you need to create beliefs that make that energy possible for you. And that is the essence of the fall season, and learning the lessons that create the beliefs that are reflected in our reality. And anytime we have beliefs or make choices that are not in alignment in what our soul knows its purpose on this planet is, we start to have friction and complication and chaos and illness and accidents and whatever that is, ends of relationships that we had our heart set on. All that happens when we're not in full alignment with what our soul is wanting in this lifetime, and it all comes from our choices and our beliefs. So your fall season is your chance to learn those lessons that formulate your choices and beliefs and create your future. I know that was a lot to put into today. I hope it made sense. Again, if you have questions, reach out to me in Facebook or on my, by text or email. This is deep, deep, deep work. So I honor you for taking the time to dive in, all in on this, and I'm here to support you. So when it gets difficult, let's talk about it. Let's flow through it. Okay? But please do this work, because it's going to have a huge effect on how we move forward to be able to talk about graduating from the fall season into the winter season next week. All right, I love you ladies. So much joy to you this week. Have a good one.